What's going on, everybody? Eric Lindquist at Stokastic here on the Odd Chopper channel, coming to you with another smash edition of Ladies, Leans, Likes, and Locks. Hit that like button, subscribe button, notification bell. Goes a long way for me on this video. Goes a long way for you. That way you become a prize whenever great content is going live here at our little neck of the YouTube woods. I've been hearing the comments. There's people who have been reaching out to me on Twitter about ridiculous things, but you know what I'm here for? Making you money, and make you money I did over on X, baby. It's good stuff. 6 of the 9 bets that I posted there for you. All of the things I was firing in the premium Discord, I gave to you over there. 6 of 9, 2-quarter unit plays. The only home run plays didn't hit there. Kepler, of course. Why would that happen? And Alex Kirilloff. I thought they were great values, but Royce Lewis goes double dong. Ended up just smashing across the board there. Tampa money line, the other one that didn't end up winning, but we got the Phillies. We ended up heavy on the Arizona Diamondbacks, both the +1.5 and the money line. Hopefully you follow me over on X at Eric Lindquist, and I was able to help you out. Or you're in that premium Discord where we can talk about the process, talk about the picks, have some fun in the meantime, and sweat the games. It's a great time to be alive. And thank you to producer Jacob for staying up a little bit later here, as we needed to get all of these lines before we recorded here. So yeah, we're coming to you a little bit later than normal, but I'm going to speed it up here because everything is a must-win game for at least one team that's going on in action. Actually, only one team that's going in action here for every game on Wednesday for all 4. We're running it back. Everything that we had here on Tuesday, we're going to have on Wednesday, including Bet365 here in the video description box below. You sign up, you bet $1, you get $365 in bet credits. You have to deposit $10 or more over there. That's kind of the deal, but there are 6 states it's available in. Kentucky, it just showed up there. It's if you're 21 and over, and if you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. But just saying, Bet365, awesome book to be signed up at. Had the best line for that Arizona money line we ended up on, +155. Love it. Alrighty, y'all. I'm fired up. I'm ready to rock. No bullshit here today. Producer Jacob, let's get to the picks. Oh yeah, why don't we just have a lock right off the bat? And it's the only prop that exists on the card. In fact, I have 3 games that I'm going to be betting outright here. Yes, outright. And this is not one of them, but I am looking, my friends, at the prop market here. Nathan Eovaldi versus Zach Eflin, and we'll get to the lock on the Texas Rangers side here, of course. But Zach Eflin going in this spot. Obviously, Tampa Bay needs to do everything they can to win this game. Nobody is going to be held back. It doesn't matter if you're a starter during the regular season. It doesn't matter what your name is. It doesn't matter what your name is, as The Rock would say. Zach Eflin, though, he's been pretty darn good throughout this season. 274 xWOBA, 26.5% K rate, just a 3.4% walk rate, which is insane. He does carry a 9% barrel percentage, so he's not immune to getting barreled up at any point in time here. And the Texas Rangers, well, they put up the only 4 runs in the game that I watched on Tuesday. So just saying, they do bring some ammunition to the plate, getting some offense from some unlikely spots. How about Evan Carter? Welcome to the program, my dear God. But anyway, for me, this is truly a misprice that I believe exists on the Nathan Eovaldi side of things. Yes, you have to be extremely sensitive to what you're looking at, because if anybody gets in a bind that's down 0-1 going into the game 2, that is a must-win game 2. Again, these are only 3-game series for the wild card divisional round. We are looking at a great opportunity to short those pitcher props, but yet 14.5 outs, pitching outs, is the line at -110 right now at every book across the board. I don't agree with that on Nathan Eovaldi, mainly because I think if he has decent stuff, you still have Tropicana playing as a pitcher's park, despite what you've seen during this regular season because of the Tampa Bay offense. You still have Nathan Eovaldi, who has generally been one of these aces go-to guys, and I expect his walk rate to normalize a little bit. He had a 1.14 whip during the regular season. Since he got back, he had 5 starts after a month and a half off on the IL. He has walked at least 2 in every single one of those, which might sound concerning. And again, everybody's got a short leash coming into this spot. But Texas, Jordan Montgomery gave them a ton of length, and I know that Texas being up 1-0, it's kind of a different situation that we're talking about here, because they don't have to let Eovaldi go out and create havoc and do everything. But I think this is a great spot based on what we saw from this Rays offense. Obviously, lefties like Josh Lau will be showing up here in this lineup. They have some other pieces that they can mix and match here, but a lot of their major lefties are out. They're on the IL, and I think this is a great opportunity based on what I project this lineup to be for Tampa Bay to get tons of length out of Nathan Eovaldi, who did go 86 pitches in his second to last start during the regular season. I think there's 95 pitch upside if he gets things off on the right track. And you're telling me a 50-50 proposition on 15 pitching outs? Not the 16, 17, 18 you'd be looking at for him to go 6 innings. I think this is a home run smash play on the prop market. I have a unit and a half on it right from the get-go. Kind of my Philly play from the day before. Unit and a half that was on that one. I think we're running it back here. Eovaldi. Yes, the Texas Rangers are up 1-0. Yes, every single one of these games will be played in Tampa Bay, but it doesn't matter to me. I think there's a great opportunity for him to come out and mow down this lineup that will not have a number of its main boppers from the left side, being Brandon Lau, Luke Raley, both of those pieces on the IL. I think this is a great opportunity to get a great prop right from the get-go. First game, lock it up. Nathan Eovaldi over 14.5 pitching outs. How about them Twins, baby? We got them across the finish line, even though I didn't end up betting them. Under a 7.5 hit for anybody who ended up pulling the trigger on that. Again, on Twitter, posted the entire card. 6 of 9. I'm pretty happy with the results, especially because 2 of those losses were quarter unit plays on these Minnesota Twins. Just Royce Lewis showing up with one hamstring, being a god amongst men. This kid is something special. Absolutely love it. But now, oh baby, this is Jose Berrios' revenge spot for Toronto. My Minnesota Twins former quote-unquote ace, even when he was in Minnesota, he gave me headaches beyond headaches. Always thought he should have outperformed what his metrics were during those periods in time. He had flashes. It was still an enjoyable thing to watch, but when he signed with Toronto, I was pretty okay with it. Let's just put it that way. Anyway, Sonny Gray on the other side of this one. And I think this is one of those spots where you just invest in what you saw from the Minnesota side. Royce Lewis, once he was activated, I did say I was thinking about switching out to Minnesota. Again, it was a lean Toronto in terms of Kevin Gausman. I couldn't pull the trigger there. And a lot of money did come in on Minnesota late when you got confirmed Royce Lewis, Carlos Correa on the roster and in that starting lineup. So we'll say there are so many things in flux, which is why I'm posting cards 30, 45 minutes before first pitch on Twitter for everybody to see. You can keep the receipts. So follow me on X at Eric Lindquist. Happy to be posting those. Hopefully we can run back the smash, the absolute torch fest that was Tuesday. But anyway, let's talk about this game here because I do have an interesting play. Well, it's not interesting at all. I'm actually going to be a little bit of a homer. Jose Berrios, we used to pick on him a lot, and he's had a lot better stuff over the course of this season. Haven't been picking on him almost at all. But he carries a .437 expected slugging, an 8.6% barrel percentage. There are a number of things that still concern me, despite the 23.5% K rate, which is adjusted, looks pretty darn good. And Minnesota, it doesn't change the fact that they had the highest K rate, even though Kevin Gausman, that splitter, they might have had some kind of a read on it. I know that Alex Rodriguez kept talking about it over and over again on the broadcast, but there might be something to that. But as I'm looking at the numbers here, 27% K rate on the regular season, the Minnesota Twins, highest K rate against righties, but still that 111 WRC plus. That's what I starred, highlighted, circled. Think it's a spot with Jose Berrios, who has a little bit of a lefty problem, a 190 expected ISO on the season against them, despite a 24% K rate. Think that's an okay spot to maybe look in the home run market yet again, especially if numbers aren't adjusted nearly as much, because again, Kevin Gausman had a lefty problem too. They shouldn't change off of his 200 expected ISO all that much from yesterday's numbers to today's numbers. I haven't come through all of the home run props because they weren't posted entirely as of yet, but we did have the other props across the board, and I'm sure that they've been posted here at this point in time because again, we're coming to you later than normal. But I'm looking at the Minnesota money line, and in fact, the next 3 games we have are all outright plays, and I saw people clamoring on Twitter that, well, you can't predict those kind of things, but you can still nail down value. Where is value? Who is value? And it felt very clear-cut to me to be heavy on Arizona, heavy on the Phillies. Think we're going to be talking about them again here as well. But Minnesota money line, absolutely love adding them to the card. This time is a half unit play. Not going to be going the full unit that I had on Arizona on the +1.5 and then a half unit on the money line. Not going to be going the unit and a half on the Philly side. A small play. The most meager play of the 3, mainly because Sonny Gray, I need to see it. 364 expected slugging, 297 xWOBA. Really good stuff from him. do we just throw all caution to the wind? We utilized Griffin Jacks right off the bat. I know that him and then obviously Duran, we have an opportunity to use them back-to-back days out of the bullpen. Can Sonny Gray give us a little bit of length? Can Toronto bats stay quiet, especially that back half of the lineup? As long as they're getting no production there, Minnesota money line, half unit, pretty simple, clear-cut play for Wednesday. Friends, Bet365 gives you an opportunity to lock in a W before the season even starts. Before Wednesday even starts. Could be any season. The NBA season, I've been updating my models, getting ready to rock with that. Yeah, I've got some pretty good stuff coming down the pipeline. Going to be awesome. NHL, I used to cover some of those streets a couple of years ago. I don't have the bandwidth to be able to do that as much. I want to give you good information, and I will give you great information in the NBA streets where I've been the most profitable the last 2 seasons. Anybody in the premium Discord can definitely vouch for that fact. There's no doubt about it. Got the receipts to show it's good times. But you simply deposit $10 or more at Bet365. You're going to get an opportunity to join me in the NBA streets coming up very shortly. You got the NFL streets, which were fantastic there in week 4. The MLB streets have obviously been warm, borderline hot coming into the postseason here on Tuesday. Telling you, you bet $10. You bet $1 on anything. Out of the $10 you deposit, you're going to get $365 in bonus bets. That is great stuff. So take advantage of these sports books whenever they're giving you the offers. Let us punish them. Again, plus 155, you got an Arizona money line there. That is unbelievable stuff. You're not going to get that backing Zach Gallen here, but still think we're going to be looking their direction here next. Let's get to that, shall we? But again, Bet365 only if you're 21 and over, 18 and over in the state of Kentucky. Please play responsibly. And if you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. On with the picks we go. Again, let's all give some love to producer Jacob. He's a real one here. I asked him to hold off until we got some of these lines because I want to update my model. I want to get things right on track and make sure that nothing's too crazy. And I was doing a lot of searching, trying to find the Arizona-Milwaukee money line somewhere, anywhere in the world. Ended up finding a little bit of a look-ahead line. And hey, now we got the numbers posted for you here. We're looking at minus 135, plus 114, something in that ballpark, depending on the book you look at. You have minus 130 as the best Milwaukee number, plus 114, the best Arizona number I'm seeing on DraftKings Sportsbook. And that's the one I think we want to smash because Zach Gallen is that dude. He's been that dude for us all season long. And hey, you got to win game 2 if you're Milwaukee. So they have to utilize Freddie Peralta, whereas if they won game 1, maybe they pushed him back to game 3, tried to bullpen it up there in game 2. Lots of ways that this could have worked out. But as it stands going into Wednesday, Zach Gallen is my preferred back here because anytime he's plus money, he's a great bet. Milwaukee's lineup does not change based on what we just saw against Brandon Pfaadt. And yes, Brandon Pfaadt, he struck out the side in the first. Well, not the side because there were a lot of things happening in between that for sure. Some bloop singles, some BABIP got in his way. I would say Milwaukee was lucky to stay in that game, despite the fact that I'm very aware they had the bases loaded there later on. And Evan Longoria made a game-saving play. But when you're getting a team better than 1.5 to 1, we're talking plus 150 in that regard. Who gives a shit? Because it was the right side to be on with Arizona. We're going to continue to ride that because you look at this lineup top to bottom. Tommy Pham, Ketel Marte, Corbin Carroll going yard. Ketel Marte, I love you so much. Thank you for that back-to-back madness to really get it going, tie it up at 3-3, and run into the sunset. Lourdes Gurriel. I will also say the Arizona Diamondbacks was another McCarthy who had a tough time at their job there on Tuesday. It's not a political statement. It's just a statement of fact. Anyway, he didn't end up making the NL roster for this one. I don't have any joke for that. It's just is what it is. Jake McCarthy isn't there. It's Chase Peterson. They did a late switch. Anyway, the Milwaukee Brewers, my friends, we are looking at their side of things here. Telling you ahead of time, Milwaukee, Freddie Peralta is going to have to get some length out of this one, mainly because I don't trust that bullpen in some of these situations. They really were hoping for something out of Corbin Burns, but that is why you read the tea leaves, why you put in the work, why you find that value. And again, sometimes things show up in the numbers based on the projected lineup. In Milwaukee, they had a really gross bottom half of the lineup. And maybe Jesse Winker, who out of the middle of nowhere hadn't played for 2.5 months, ends up making this roster. Maybe they end up playing him and starting him in this spot instead of Tyrone Taylor went yard. Matsario's on the roster. Again, there's so many ways that Milwaukee just screwed up, I believe, what could have been a better construction for their team in this spot. But you can only play with what you got. And obviously, you're putting Yelich and Contreras up top there. There's no bats showing up out of the middle of nowhere here. And I'm getting Gallen, who I still prefer over Freddie Peralta, even though Peralta better in terms of reducing hard contact, only 37.7% next to Zach Gallen's 46.2%, has the higher K rate as well, 30.9% next to 26%. But look at these lineups. It is so heavily favored in favor of the Arizona Diamondbacks. And I'm trying to hit two of these three here. Two of these three money lines, and we're going to be happy. So the Arizona team at plus money is definitely going in that category yet again here. We give them the thumbs up. We're going to back them. Let's get to the last game of the night. No surprises here. Braxton Garrett going up against Aaron Nola. And Aaron Nola, I've been a little bit harsh on him because I feel like he's underachieved this entire season, and I don't think he would disagree with that statement. But why is Aaron Nola almost only minus 142 here at the opening number that we sat around and waited for? We were patient. I already put a unit on this one. So this is a little bit heavier than I'm talking about on the Minnesota side as a favorite here. But as a unit play, I might be extending this more into the lock territory here after the fact. But I'm going to hold steady with the unit overnight, see what people do to this line, because Miami, they roll out a decent enough lineup where I don't want to go completely besmirch them. But let's start with the Braxton Garrett side of things. Here's a 45.1% hard hit percentage, a 272 expected batting, 437, 43.7%. I don't even know what that was. It just flashed across my screen. 437 expected slugging. There it is. 45.1% hard hit percentage. These are gigantic kind of numbers to be looking at. And yes, the 23.7% K rate isn't nothing, but his 3.66 ERA looks abysmal next to his 4.51 expected ERA. And here's the thing about Nola. The more I looked into the numbers, and I went through the last 5 starts of every single starter leading into game 1, I think that gave me a leg up on what I think the books were setting the lines at. They're reacting to public money to a certain extent. Not as much as normal because they're happy to take stands. I think that's a misconception about Vegas. They're more than happy to just have it in good in some of these spots, especially in sports that aren't the NFL, games that aren't the Super Bowl. They're more than happy to do that. But in this spot, there is no way that I won't be backing Aaron Nola based on what I've seen from Garrett and this expected ERA that we have for negative regression, and then Aaron Nola with his expected ERA that has positive regression in store. Let's talk through it. Aaron Nola has a 4.46 ERA. On the surface, that does not look calm and ready to drop bombs because he keeps on forgetting that results matter. But a 3.74 expected ERA is awesome. So pretty similar to what we saw in Minnesota, where Pablo Lopez, higher ERA, lower expected ERA. Then you saw Kevin Gausman, lower ERA, higher expected ERA. This looks eerily similar to that spot. I'm feeling pretty confident based on what I saw from the lineups on the Phillies against a lefty that is inferior to that of Braxton Garrett, that I am happy to go out of my way to back them here. Minus 142. They get the job done on Wednesday. This is a unit play looking like I might extend it into a lock. But again, follow me over on X at Eric Lindquist. I will tell you the plays. I will explain exactly what I'm going to be firing up in these spots. And hey, actually, I have nothing else to say. That's literally the end of the show. And that does it for another edition of Lindy's Leans, Likes, and Locks. Head to that comment section below. Let me know your favorite plays on Wednesday's board. Obviously, we don't expect everything that happened there on Tuesday to just go ahead and happen on Wednesday, even though I'm backing 3 of those. I'm looking to go 2 for 3 there in the money line department, lock ourselves a win. And hey, if Arizona can get it done, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. And again, Minnesota, a smaller play simply because I do have some respect for the top of that Toronto lineup. But special shout out to producer Jacob. He stayed up late here, burning the midnight oil, just out there in Vegas, living the life because he got to know. I don't really know what to say after this. Oh, Bet365. They're really, really great. Bet $1, get $365 in bet credits. Only if you're 21 and over, 18 and over in the state of Kentucky. And if you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER. Go Twins. Go Diamondbacks. Go Phillies. We are also Oh, Nathan Eovaldi. That's the biggie out of everything. Just get to 5 innings. Get to 5 innings for your boy. They're up 1-0. That would be awesome from the Rangers as well. Tampa Bay. Quiet bats. It's literally the end of the program. Until next time, friends, let's keep smashing. I'm Eric Lindquist. Best of luck in the MLB streets on Wednesday.